Hello there! Welcome back to my channel, the Casa Magana, and Merry Christmas! Instead of not doing a video this week for Christmas, I decided just to do a really simple video of some of my most asked questions, just so I can then have a video to refer people to who are new to my channel or my Instagram page. And yeah, it's just a fun way to share a little bit about myself with you guys who want to know. And I'm just going to dive in with some of my most asked questions that I get from you guys. One of my most asked questions is how old I am. I am 27 years old, and people also like to know how old I was when I got married, because I am a mom and I am pretty young. I got married when I was 20 years old, and I became a mom when I was 22. Where do I live? I live in California in the Central Valley. What does my husband do for a living that allows me to stay home? He is a citrus farmer. So he farms citrus in the Central Valley of California, and we do not own any citrus, but he manages several different properties, and that affords us the opportunity for me to stay home with our kids. It's not always easy, but it is definitely always a worthwhile sacrifice for us because we really believe in homeschooling and me being home with my kids. Do we homeschool? Will we homeschool? We homeschool our 5-year-old son through a local charter program where he gets some extracurricular activities and some supporting funds, as well as some special education resources, because he is currently in speech therapy, and we are super grateful for that resource. How did I meet my husband? My husband's name is Jesus, and it is spelled like Jesus. He is Hispanic, and we met at our church. He became friends with my parents and joined the worship team. We were on the worship team together, did youth together, all kinds of stuff, and slowly fell in love, started dating, and got married 7 months later. And we've been married for 7 years now. How many kids do I have, and do I want more? So we had a miscarriage when we were very first married, like 3 or 4 months into being married. And we knew we wanted to have kids right away, so we kept trying and had my son. He is 5 years old, his name's Nehemiah, and my daughter Millie soon followed unexpectedly, and she's 4 years old. And then another surprise baby 2 years after that was Imelda, and she is turning 2 in just a few days. Will we have more? I definitely think we will. I don't know when, there is no exact timeline, but we are very open to having another baby. And we trust that the finances and all the resources needed will be provided to us if we end up having another baby, because they are a true blessing from the Lord. What is my religious affiliation? I am a Christian, and my husband and I go to a non-denominational church, and we are on the leadership team there. My parents pastor the church. We are on the advisory team and the worship team, and we like to help out wherever we can. And our children love to go with us, and they love the children's programs. And it is a huge part of our life and something that I am very passionate about. I don't always know how to share about my faith on social media because it's so real that it's hard to share through a lens. And I think that's because with the walk with God, there are high highs and low lows, and there are struggles, and there are times where faith is great and times where faith is lacking. And it can be hard to share such a complex thing on social media, and I don't always know how to, but one of my goals going into the new year is to be more bold with my faith and to try to give space for it on my platform, because God has changed my life, and I am who I am because of him, and everything good comes from him. So that is one of my goals for the new year, is to kind of learn how to integrate my faith more into content creation and sharing my life with you guys. How did I get started on social media? Well, when I was 13, I had a Tumblr, and that was a blogging site back in the day. And I was really into it, and I hit like 10,000 followers at one point, and I just loved it. And eventually it just really wasn't good for me. I struggled a lot on the internet back then in high school. I just did not know who I was and really had no place being on the internet. And so that was kind of my start. And then when I became a mom and was home full time, I started sharing on my Instagram, the Casa Magana, And then I think I hit about like 4,000 followers maybe, and my account got hacked and I lost the whole thing and had to start over. And I started over with the account that I have now on Instagram. And after about a year of posting on that, it started to grow. And then it just kind of blew up, and it felt really amazing and really encouraging to encourage people and make friendships and find something that I really enjoyed doing and could do at home. And then I started making income from it. And another question I get asked all the time is, what does income on social media look like? So I have been on Instagram for 2 years. About a year ago is when I started getting partnerships, and I've only done a handful of paid partnerships. Most partnerships for accounts that are smaller, I'm around 30,000 followers on Instagram, are gifted partnerships and collaborations with an opportunity to become an affiliate. And that means that if I share a link for, let's say, my laundry detergent, and you buy through that link, I get a commission of maybe 10% of that sale at no extra cost to you. And that helps to generate income for me, and it generates sales for the brand. So I started doing some affiliate marketing about a year ago, and that is where I make most of my income from social media. And I think on average, I make, if I combine everything, now even being monetized on YouTube, about $400 a month roughly from social media content. Do we rent or own? We rent. We actually rent from my parents. We rent 2 bedrooms and a bathroom on their 10-acre property. And there's an Airbnb on their property that my husband and I made. It used to be a garage, and we converted it into a fantastic Airbnb, lived in it for 3 years, and then we outgrew it. And now we are in the big house with my parents, and we've been co-living with them for 3 years this coming April in 2025. And it's been a really good situation for us so far. And we don't have any plans to leave anytime soon, and everybody's happy. Another question I get asked a lot is how I'm teaching myself to sew. And I am teaching myself to sew through YouTube. It's kind of how I realized that I liked YouTube and decided to start even making content on here, was because I was constantly looking on YouTube for ways to fix my sewing machine as it fell apart as I was sewing, and was looking into patterns and what certain things in patterns meant. And I'm just a very visual person, so I have been teaching myself to sew for the past year on YouTube, and I am really enjoying it. How do I have time to do any of this as a stay-at-home mom? Well, I implement a lot of routines with my children, or at least I attempt to. Sometimes they fall through the cracks when I am not doing well. That's just life. Sometimes you're in a really good season and sometimes you're not. There are seasons where I am absolutely thriving, and there's seasons where, you know, I am just doing like B-roll content and just getting through and focusing on my kids, and there's not room for anything else. But I will say right now, the baby is napping and my older 2 are playing Play-Doh downstairs and having a snack, and I will periodically check on them or set them up for quiet time. And that's kind of how I get this done, just in my spare time. And I usually edit at night after everyone else is asleep, since I'm a little bit of a night owl. Do we allow screen time? Yes, we do. My husband and I both love movies and TV, and so we allow screen time in our home, but we do not allow it in the car or when we are out and about shopping, and that is just something we are not willing to compromise on. And we really try to be intentional on the types of shows we're letting our kids watch, and we watch their behavioral responses to those shows just to see if it's something that's actually overstimulating them and something that their brains can't really handle yet. And then we would just take that show out of the rotation. But we like If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, Puff and Rock, Little Bear, Bluey, some stuff like that, and old Disney movies are a big hit as well. Did I go to college, and what did I go to college for? No, I did not go to college for a degree. I did take a few classes that went towards my AA, but I never got it. I was actually homeschooled, and in high school I did a dual enrollment program where I was able to get dual credits for college courses that counted both towards college and high school. And after doing 3 or 4 classes at our local community college, I just didn't think it was for me and decided not to pursue it as I became an adult. I worked at Starbucks when my husband and I started dating, and was considering going into a management track there or becoming a shift manager. And I ended up not pursuing that because I became a mom, and I've been home with my kids for 5 years now. I think those are most of the questions that I am asked. I might be missing a few. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below and I will answer them as best as I can. I went through my Instagram to look through all the comments that I'm asked when I do a little question box or when I get new followers, what they tend to ask, as well as looking through some old YouTube comments. And this is kind of what I came up with. I'm sure it's not everything, but it's a good start to get to know me. And that's it. That's as much as I can really share at the moment, but thank you for being here and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for helping me get monetized in 2024, and I am really excited for what 2025 holds. And I hope you have a great Christmas and a great New Year, and I'm really excited for the stuff that is to come on this channel. Bye.